All right, everybody, welcome back. We are diving into something today that really caught my eye.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's about a recent comment made by Donald Trump
Oh,
about Arnold Palmer.
interesting.
Yeah, so it was about Arnold Palmer's anatomy.
Okay. Wow.
I know, right? And CNN's Jake Tapper actually wrote an article about it in The Messenger, and he basically questions whether or not this was a good strategy for Trump to make a comment like this. So it got me thinking,
Yeah.
with fewer and fewer undecided voters in elections these days,
Right.
how do you actually win? Like, what's the strategy?
Well, one thing that's really interesting is that as you get closer and closer to Election Day,
Yeah.
you see campaigns start to shift away from trying to persuade new voters.
Okay.
And they actually start to focus more on mobilizing their base.
So getting people who already support them
Exactly.
to actually go out and vote.
Yep, turnout is key,
Makes sense.
especially when there are so few undecided voters left.
Right. Like with this Trump comment, when I read it and Tapper's reaction to it, I was just floored.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I was like, is this really happening? Like, it just seems so out of left field.
For a presidential campaign.
Exactly. But, you know, the article brings up some interesting points from a GOP strategist named Kristin Davison.
Right?
And she actually suggests this might be a calculated move on Trump's part.
How so?
Well, she basically argues that because there are so few undecided voters, this might be a way to really fire up his base.
Interesting. So instead of trying to win over new voters, he's trying to energize the ones he already has?
Exactly. And that kind of highlights the two main paths to victory, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
You can either try to persuade people to switch sides,
Right.
or you can focus on getting your existing supporters to show up.
And Davison points out that Biden and Harris are definitely taking the persuasion route.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they're even quoting Ronald Reagan, you know, who's obviously a beloved figure for Republicans, so they're really trying to appeal to those moderate conservatives.
Makes sense.
And they're also highlighting endorsements from Republicans like Liz Cheney.
Right, who's been a very vocal critic of Trump.
Exactly. So they're really trying to target voters who might be disillusioned with Trump,
Yeah.
but who still lean conservative.
Makes sense.
And that brings us to someone like Nikki Haley.
Oh, interesting. Oh.
She was a rival to Trump in the Republican primaries,
Right.
but she ultimately endorsed him.
Yeah, and she continued to receive a significant number of votes even after dropping out of the race.
Exactly. But the thing is, she hasn't really campaigned with him. So it really makes you wonder if Trump is even trying to win over those Haley voters.
Yeah, good point.
Like, is he just writing them off?
Well, when asked about potentially giving Haley a bigger role in his campaign,
Yeah.
Trump was pretty dismissive, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he even mentioned beating her badly in the primaries.
Yeah.
So it really seems like his focus is entirely on energizing his base.
Okay, so this brings up a big question for me.
What's that?
Do you think this base mobilization strategy is enough for Trump to win?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right. Like, is he so confident in his base that he doesn't need to appeal to anyone else?
Or could it backfire
Yeah.
and alienate potential voters who might be open to his message if he took a different approach?
It's a gamble for sure.
It really is, and it's going to be fascinating to watch how it plays out.
I think so too, because this could have a huge impact on how future campaigns are run.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
For sure.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Like, what does this strategy say about the state of our politics?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
And what does it mean for the future of our democracy?
Well, those are definitely questions for all of us to ponder
Definitely.
as we head into this election season.
And beyond.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We'll be back soon with more thought-provoking insights.
See you next time.
Bye for now.